3 months after my disabling car crash. I remember there was one point right at the end of those months that I said, Carrie, you just got to stop. You've got to give it to God and say, okay, I am in a spot right now I have no control over. I don't know how to navigate this, and I need you to help me get through this.
You can still have joy and peace and healing. And for me, like, believe in a good God, even when you've been really through hard things. And you choose this.
You are going to have to work through this. Like, you're going to have to feel it all. You're going to have to get uncomfortable. And my God, there was years of discomfort. But I don't want to give up the person that it made me. I love who I am because of what happened.
Welcome to Courage is Built Here, the podcast. I'm Justine Frolker, licensed professional counselor, author, speaker, and corporate trainer. Here, we bring my Courage is Built Here curriculum to life and community. Each week, I invite a guest to walk one of the 5 courageous pathways with me through authentic, sometimes tough, sometimes hilarious conversations. No performance, no polish, just real people practicing real courage with grit, grace, and a whole lot of love. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Courage is Built Here podcast. Today, we have Pathway 2, Embody Again. This is the work of how to care well for yourself because you can't give what you don't have. How do you show up for yourself and follow through? How do you bookend your days? How do you begin your day well? How do you end your day well? Better yet, what do you do throughout the day to stay in your body, to stay present, to keep your wits about you, to care well for yourself? Because you can't give what you don't have, and you will not be able to care well for anyone else or actually get your to-do list done well if you're not caring well for yourself. And today's guest is someone who I just, I admire so much, and I am so grateful that she is in my sphere of life. Carrie Pertel is a speaker. She is also an author, and 15 years ago, she was in a car accident hit by a drunk driver that forever changed her life and will eventually mean that she will be wheelchair bound because of her injuries. And so she shares really just like what it's like to show up well for yourself when you've had no choice but to. How do you focus on what is in your control when a whole lot is not in your control? How do you not live in constant fear of the next really hard season or even the next pain flare because you know it's coming? And we just have a really great conversation. I'm really excited for you to meet her. I highly recommend that you check her out and just go follow her because she is a true inspiration. And I'm so grateful for her for sharing her story with us. So let's welcome Carrie to the podcast. Welcome, Carrie, to the Courage is Built Here podcast. Thank you.
Thank you, Justine. I'm really, really excited to be here with you today.
I'm also, well, thank you for making the time. I'm also just really excited to see you and chat with you.
I know it has been a hot minute, right?
It has been a hot minute. I'm so grateful for technology.
Yeah. The pandemic's a double-edged sword, right? It did bring us to where we get used to doing it over the screen, right? But at least we still have that connection.
It's like it'll never replace in person ever. You will never convince me of that. And
100%
I'm so
agree.
grateful for it. Yep. Yeah. Right. It's just a thing. All right. Well, we're going to start you off with the same question everybody gets. When you think about courage, most especially through what I call Pathway 2, which is embody again, how to take care of ourselves, is there like a story or a moment that comes up for you?
Yes, it was probably about 3 months after my disabling car crash. And I had been, in a bed in the middle of my living room for those 3 months. And I am one of those people that I'm sure you could probably understand. Like, I like to control myself, my environment, how things affect me. And I just like control over my outcome. And I could not control anything about what happened to me. I was trying really hard to control like my perspective, my attitude on how I was, trying to navigate the situation. And I was trying to control too much. And I remember there was one point right at the end of those 3 months that I said, Carrie, you just got to stop. Like, you have to, if I can say this, you've got to give it to God and say, okay, I am in a spot right now that I have no control over. I don't know how to navigate this, and I need you to help me get through this. And so for me, it was just finally giving up that control and saying,
Yeah.
you've got to help me. Like because asking for help is really hard for us who are very independent.
It is.
And, I finally got to that point and I was like, I need your help. I need your help really, really bad.
Yeah. Right. There, we'll all have really hard things, right, in our life. Like we can have the big T traumas and then the little T traumas. I'm finding like the more healing work I do and the more like even caring well for myself, I'm finding that it's not necessarily the big T traumas that have like created these deep roots that I need to dig up and heal. It's actually like the little T traumas, more so like how I responded or reacted to the big T traumas, like, or those like small interactions and the really hard things. It's like those small pieces that are like, oh dang, like I agreed to something there, or I let something be spoken over me, or like I held on to control far longer than I was supposed to. And so like I wonder, like, the car accident is this, I mean, huge T trauma for you, right? Like, and I wonder what's it look like for you, one, to navigate that part in the sense of like showing up in courage, in your values, caring well for yourself, both early after the accident, but also like now years out. But I think I really, especially, it's like, because you say control, and to me that's a little T, right? Like that's a little T trauma in response to the big T trauma.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I struggle
So
with it.
what did all that look like for you?
For me, it came out, it was really frustrating because I was used to just being so independent and having that control.
Yeah.
And afterwards, like, I guess also at that 3-month mark, we realized that my recovery was not going to be months, it was going to be years. So that was something else that I had to navigate. So I had all of these little challenges throughout my recovery that sometimes seemed really, really big, even though they were so small. Looking back now that I am like out of that chaos, that tornado that I was in, that, this huge storm that I didn't know how was going to end. Now that I am out of that and I'm like, okay, I have control. I know where I'm at. I know how to get through these spells or these phases, that I have to go through.
Yep.
It was just it was such a struggle for me to get through that. It was a learning experience. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, listen, I know that I would never want something like this to happen again, but the lessons that I have learned from all of these experiences, oh, I would never want to take those back, ever. And then I try to pass them on so other people can learn from them.
Right, right. It is that we wouldn't wish it on anyone.
Right.
And also, like, when you've done your work of healing, you also like wouldn't wish it away. Like, of course, like I like I would it have been great to be able to like learn the lessons, be refined into who I am today without having to have gone through the really hard things. I mean, sure, except I'm not sure that's how it ever is going to happen.
No, because I feel like, we have all kinds of like small lessons, and a lot of times they don't stick because they're not painful enough. The painful ones are the ones that you're like, okay, that sticks the very first time. I learned it because it hurts so bad.
Uh-huh. That is so, so true. That's so true. It's why one of the teachers that I've been learning a lot from, like, he talks a lot about, like, to renew your mind, to change the way you think, growth mindset, whatever you want to call it, take your thoughts captives, whatever you want to call it, right? Like when you practice those things, they will stick faster and deeper when you do them when you're in discomfort. So like like cold plunge, or when he's running or whatever else. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. I'm not going to cold plunge. I don't want, like, you will never, I don't think you'll ever talk me into cold plunging. But like,
Ditto.
right? Like, and I always tell people, I'm like, actually, a lot of research supports that, especially for women who have had significant trauma in their life, cold plunging is not good for their systems. Like, it's not. And so, like,
I would say I'm in that
and
category.
what does it look like for me? Right, exactly. Like, what's it look like for me, though, to still, like, to place that, just to lean into the discomfort, to be able to train this muscle up here to renew, to take captive, to growth mindset, to like, to create some that discomfort, because like you said, like when it was so painful, it stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have like going
Like,
back years, like when we first met, like there are so many
yeah,
mechanisms or techniques that I have learned from you. And a lot of it was you have to dive into the discomfort. So a lot of us, through generations
yeah,
are trained to push it away, don't think about it, don't talk about it. That means you don't have to feel it, but we always know that it regurgitates, it just comes back up.
gotta come back.
And when I was going through this, like once I was able to like calm down with the surgeries and the
Yep,
initial just shitstorm, I
yep,
told myself, you are going to have to work through this. Like you're going to have to feel it all. You're going to have to get uncomfortable. And my God, there was years of discomfort. But I don't want to give up
yeah,
the person that it made me. Like I love who I am
yeah,
because of what happened. But
yep,
I also think that it was a choice that I made
yep,
to accept all of this and become this other person, that deeper, more
right, right,
healing person.
yeah. Be, be, because you didn't have control over what happened. You do have control over how you respond to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I preach that. I preach it so hard because I'm like, you do have control. Like so many people like, I didn't have a choice. I'm like, well, we always have a choice. We just might not like what that choice is,
Yep,
and if you've just got to figure it out
exactly.
and deal with it, accept it.
Right. Yeah. I wonder for you, because the recovery was so long for you after the accident, and also like is going to be lifelong, because there will be these seasons as you age,
Yep.
hormones, because we know that's a thing, like this piece of like, what's it look like for you to live this well, in courage, in your values, taking care of yourself, when you know that like you're another tough season is coming, right? There's going to be a flare. Like
Yeah.
there will be a pain flare, or something in your body will stop working the way it was, like the way it's been healed, or it's like it's no longer working. Like what's it look like to navigate that space, like almost between the hard seasons? Because really, whether or not one was in a car accident or you have chronic illness or things like that, like you do have to navigate this space of like, when's it going to hit
Yeah.
next?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
how do you not like live in that fear, right? So what's that look
Yeah.
like for you?
It's interesting because I have really been trying to navigate that right now. So, um, I always have pain flare ups. So I know that they're going to come every week. So that is something that I'm just like, okay, when it comes,
Okay.
you do the best that you can that day,
Yep.
listen to your body, those kind of things. But I knew, so it's been 15 years since my car crash, and I knew that there was going to be a point in
Believe
time.
that.
Well, I know, right? So fast it's gone by, so fast.
Yeah.
There was going to be a time where my doctor said, you're going to be full-time wheelchair or, your body's going to start deteriorating. And I'm well beyond, like he gave me 8 years and I'm at 15. So I have been doing well. And that's just
Wow.
me following all the things that I'm supposed to do. And then honestly, just keeping my mental strength.
Yep.
But it has come. So I
Yep.
turned 50. Um,
Yeah.
where we talked earlier about the menopausal symptoms are not helping me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, my injuries are to the point my body, my bones do not want to hold me up anymore. So I'm down to around like 1,500 steps a day. We have
Okay.
we have prepared our home. So we built a new home that's handicap accessible because we know it's coming. So I'm in this
Yep.
phase now, this acceptance phase of, okay, it's coming. I'm starting to transition to more full-time wheelchair. I'm keeping enough of my body active so that I can still stand up and get things out of the cabinets, or, things like that, just to be able to keep
Okay.
my joints flexible. Because if
Got
you
it.
stop walking, all kinds of other things happen. But my
Yep.
struggle right now is, okay, I'm 50 and this is what I feel like. What's it going to be like in 10 more years when I'm 60? And for the first time since all of this happened, I have some anxiety about that. And I'm trying not to let it control me. I'm keeping it to where I'm like, okay, I'm working through it. I'm realizing it. I'm not like just shoving it under the rug. I'm still going to
Yep.
do everything that I can, but what's that going to be like? And what is my lifespan? Like, is it going to be
Right.
shortened because of all this going on? So now I'm getting to the older
Right.
section, which I cannot believe I'm even there. It's like when you're in high school, you're like 30 was old, and then you reach 30 and you're like, what? That's not old at all. And now I'm
So
50 and I'm like,
true.
30 is a baby. So that's where I'm at
Yeah.
now. I'm just trying to navigate, okay, this is where I'm at now, but in 10 years, in 20 years, will I be alive in
Right.
20 years? So those are the type of
Yeah.
questions that are coming up. And obviously they're
Right.
unknown. I don't know. I just am going to have to navigate it as it comes. But,
No.
you know, I'm a planner. I'm a
Yeah.
ducks in the row type person. I like to be
Right.
prepared, and you do
Uh-huh.
what you can, and
It's
then
that, well, yeah. Yeah.
it is what it is.
Well,
But
and it's
and I
because
have
like
to deal with it.
well, and the space of, I remember when I was in private practice working with clients, and so many times, like, clients would say, like, well, it is what it is. And it would be from this, like, apathetic, I don't have a choice, like, give up space.
Mhm.
And that's very different than this, it is what it is. This,
Yes.
I'm going to accept this with active acceptance, control what is in my control. And like, so it is this, and like, even just the way you said that it, like, this is what it is. And it's normal for fears and anxieties to come up. And how do I not stay stuck in them while also using them as a way to say, okay, what can I do today that will help 60-year-old Carrie,
Yeah.
not knowing where these injuries will be at that point. This is where they are today, but like, it's, and you can make it super simple. Like, I love one of those, like, that idea of like, oh, future Justine's going to be so happy with her, like, with myself.
Yeah.
'Cause like, I chose to do this thing right now. Right. And so it is like, in some ways, your recovery, and especially in this season now, you can, if you choose to, because it's a choice, like we've talked about, feel empowered by like, how do I navigate where I am now while also knowing there's a lot of unknowns in the future, and
Yes.
what could I do today to maybe cushion that a little bit, or
Right.
help her a little bit, like,
Yeah. And not just
because
wait
it
till it
would be so
happens.
easy. Yeah, exactly. And it would be so easy, and our brain would love it, the world would love it,
Right.
for you to stay really stuck in the anxiety part.
Yeah.
And because that
Yeah.
would force you back into the, like, I do have control over this. I can do this, but like, you only have
That's
so
exactly
much.
right. I mean, I feel like you said it all perfectly. I'm so glad that you brought all that up, because a lot of people, like, we have heard how many times, well, it is what it is. And I'm like, I hate that ending tone. I'm like,
I know.
no, like,
Yes.
try everything. Like, if you've tried everything and there is no way to change that end result, yeah, you're going to have to accept, like, yeah, at some point I'm going to be fully disabled. I just know that that's going to happen. I'm going to try
Yeah.
to do everything that I possibly can in the meantime, like
Right.
you said, to cushion that, but eventually it's going to come.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not going to wait all that time until that very moment happens to start going through all these acceptance phases and then start doing something. Because then, man, can you imagine the storm
Right.
that's going to be? No, let's go into it
Yeah.
softly and figure it out, and it won't hit quite
Uh-huh.
as hard.
Right. Well, and that, like, even just the way you said that, it reminds me of where we started, because this storm came because of something completely outside of your control.
Yes.
And you know that as you get older, the storm is coming. Like, they're really, I mean, they're just, it's gonna come. And so how can how can you go in it with what you know is in your control?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And it gives me having a little bit of that control of how I handle things and accept things.
Yeah.
It makes me feel a little bit more secure in that.
Yeah. Because it is something like
Yeah. It's a little bit.
we think we need this all control. Yeah. Like, right. We think we need all control. And it's like, actually, no, like you were not made for that control. You were made for the control of how you respond to this life. And if you love yourself and others well.
Yeah. Yeah. I say that all the time because when I give my presentations, I say the exact same thing after every presentation, regardless of what audience I speak to. And it is
Yeah.
completely that. It's like, every day things are going to happen, but we have control how we're going to react to it. And a lot of people, like me included, before all this happened, I didn't feel like I had that control. I wasn't
Yeah.
guided that way ever. And I think most of us probably aren't. We have to do that work on our own, unless you have this just like magnificent
Yeah.
therapy parent or adult in your life. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like hearing it from someone else. You're like, oh, I do have control over my attitude.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, God, this person just
Yeah.
makes me such a negative, angry person. Well, no, that person doesn't make you. You allow yourself to do that. So it's also,
Exactly.
accepting accountability.
It is. Right. Well, and I can like it is one of those people hearing that message from someone like you who has been through what you've been through. Like there is now there's always going to be people who cannot receive that message, right? Always.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there will
Right.
always be people who choose to stay victim mindset, to choose to be their hurts and harms and traumas and things like that versus healing from them. But like I like one of the things that when I share parts of my story, it's like I want to be that testament of like, no, really, like you can still have joy and peace and healing. And for me, like believe in a good God, even when you've been
Yeah.
really through hard things. And
Right.
you choose this, like you choose whether or not you're going to be what's happened to you or what's been done to you or the hardships. And like, I don't know. I didn't want to end up a sad, bitter, angry shell of who I once was because of what I've been through. That
Man, you
sounded
are
terrible on top of
speaking
like
my truth.
having to, right? Like on top of having to recover from all the trauma, like why would
Yeah.
I? So it is that. And so like, I think like people like you, like with that story, it is that testament. Like it pulls accountability into people like, well, if she can do it, maybe I could do it. Like more so, God, if she can do it, I have no excuse.
Yes. Right. Right. And when all this happened, it was at the end of 2010. And man, I was scouring YouTube just to try to find anybody like me. And back then, like we weren't all making videos, like nobody was,
Right.
in front of the camera back
Yeah.
then. So I couldn't really find a whole lot to help me. And at one point, I was like, I'm just going to do it myself. Maybe if I
Yep.
help teach others, it will help me in the long run.
Yep.
And it absolutely did. I feel like, honestly, my first year of speaking it was honestly for me to purge and heal. And then now I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? No matter what happens to me, I know I'm going to be okay. But there's a lot of people out there who don't feel the same way. That's why I'm continuing to do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. So good. Oh, it's so good and so needed. I love it so much. I love it. Okay, it's already that time. Are you ready for your last two questions?
I'm ready.
Okay. So the one you know is coming. When did courage look different than you expected, and what did it teach you?
So this also comes from you because when we met, I was really, really diving in to doing the work. And for
Yep.
me, it was permission to set boundaries. And I couldn't just dive in all at once because I had years to undo, you know?
Yeah.
And one, I think I needed
Yeah.
you to tell me that I had permission because I didn't grow up like that. Like I didn't get to think for
Yeah.
myself. So I had to try to undo that. But then also setting boundaries was the most difficult thing that I have ever had to do in my personal life. And I didn't start out like big boundaries. I started doing baby boundaries just to kind of see how it felt and, get my confidence up and just like,
So
how
good.
did that affect me? Was it terrible? Does it feel good? And, things. And it's
Yeah.
taken a long time. And honestly, these past 10 years from 40 to 50 has been my biggest personal growth period of my entire life. And I have set some really big boundaries that were very difficult in the moment. I cannot tell you how difficult they were in the moment. But now that I have
Yeah.
set them, like the peace that it brings me to say, I don't have to live this way anymore. I don't have to
Yep.
be angry like you think I need to be angry.
Yeah.
One, there was a lot of people who thinks I need to be angry at the person who caused all my pain. And, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. That's a normal reaction. But again, like you said earlier, I do not have the quality time and energy to give that. I need my time
Right.
and energy to go to myself and to healing and to be feeling good and doing things that bring me joy because I don't have a lot
Yeah.
of those moments. Most of my time is fighting pain. So that for me
Yep.
was, why do I keep listening to this outside noise? You know, but also, why do I
Mm-hmm.
keep listening to the inner teachings that I have had for my entire life that really aren't correct? Take
Right.
control of that, Carrie.
Right.
So that's what I did.
That's so good. That's so good. I love it. I love it. All right. Your surprise question.
Okay.
What
Give it to me.
practice helps you return? Okay. What practice helps you return to presence when your mind is spinning?
So I kind of have two things on this. My husband's going to completely agree
Okay.
with this first one. When my life starts feeling out of control, I organize a
Uh-huh.
small space. I don't know if that's
Oh,
absolutely silly or not, but I
I love that
organize a
idea.
small pace. Yeah. And it gives me control of something. It makes, like, my desk a few weeks ago, I'm like, this is out of control. I reorganized it, I cleaned it. I'll do a closet, I'll do the pantry, something like that. And I'm like, okay, my life is better now.
That's a great idea.
The other thing is, I have realized that I need to spend a certain amount of time outdoors every single day. Like, it is in my DNA. I need to work with the soil. I need to be in the
Yep.
trees. I need to be with my farm animals. And if I can do one of those two things, it will ground me and bring me back to calm.
Good. I
Yeah.
love those are two such good tangible choices
I appreciate that coming from
because like
you.
right? Like that's such good because we don't always the spinning of the thoughts or the emotions.
Yeah.
There is a lot of that that's not in our control. It can hit us really unexpectedly. I mean, yeah, it's always great when we're able to identify like the trigger or the root cause. I definitely encourage people always like one of the practices that I've been doing is like, okay, that not so fun feeling or that anxious thinking, like pause, get it out. What's it really about? Like, what's the belief? Because your present pain has nothing to do with your current circumstances. It's most likely from something before. And
Yeah.
so I
I
want to dig
love
up
that
that
you just
root,
said that. What's the root
right?
cause?
Like
The thing that everybody
what is
wants
the
to
freaking
avoid.
root? And it's so true. So true. And while we're digging up that root, like we also have to have these tangible skills to help us move through it, right? Like get your butt outdoors, organize that small space, take the walk, like listen to the song, whatever it might be. Like, but like, what's like one or three tangible skills that you have to come back to yourself?
Yeah.
So I love those ideas. That's such a good
Thank
idea.
you. Thank you. They work for me. And it took me a long time to understand what I was doing when I did
Yep.
those two things. I was just
Ooh,
naturally
yeah,
drawn to them.
right. Oh, that's such a good point. Oh, it's so good. Thank you for
Yeah.
doing this. I appreciate you
I
so much.
Well, I appreciate you. And honestly, just, you have asked me completely different questions than anybody has ever asked. And I love that you do that, that you always get in there. And I'm like, God, there's so much more that I could share to get out. But sometimes I don't know the
Uh-huh.
question to ask myself. So yeah, you always
Right.
draw it out.
Yep. Yeah. No, thank you. I love it. Where can my community connect with you? Where's the best places to connect with you? Because they
Honestly,
need what
pretty
you're
much
sharing with the
all
world.
social media. Facebook,
Okay.
Instagram, YouTube. Those are probably my three biggest ones that have everything on them.
Okay. All right. We'll link all of it in the show notes so that everybody can find you. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you too, Justine.
Thank you for listening to the Courage is Built Here podcast. Whether you're brand new to this work or living it out loud every day, I hope today was helpful, hopeful, and a reminder that you're not alone. What one bit of courage will you take from this episode, and how will you walk it out? If this episode encouraged you, share it with a friend, leave us a review, and please make sure you like and subscribe. New episodes come out every Wednesday on your favorite podcast platform and Fridays on YouTube. For more resources, head to justinefroelker.com and click to my store. Because courage isn't a one-time thing, it's built right here, one small choice at a time, and especially between us.